local all morning. The Fox 61 Morning News starts now.
And right now at 6 o'clock, legal marijuana sales are expected to kick off today in Connecticut. We'll tell you what you need to know before you head out if you're looking to buy.
And a probe is underway in how documents from the Obama administration, some labeled as classified, got inside President Biden's private office.
Also, driving safety is top of mind for officials in West Hartford. Work is being done to create a safer environment for both pedestrians and drivers.
Good Tuesday morning. Thanks so much for starting your day off here at Fox 61. I'm Erica Arias.
And I'm Tim Lammers. Good morning to you. We're starting with a forecast. Meteorologist Matt Scott joins us now. It certainly wasn't terribly cold out there.
No. Again, we're asking the question, where's January?
Right.
Seems to be on hold. It has been for much of the month. Good morning to you. Not a lot to worry about today. Mild start, mild finish, a quiet few days ahead. Sunshine and clouds, looking for a dry Tuesday into Wednesday. We do have a rainmaker coming, but that's because temperature is going to surge. We'll talk about that coming up. 38 in Hartford, New Haven, Groton, there's the trifecta, down to 31 in Waterbury and New Milford. That's as low as you go. So much better than we were yesterday at this time. Flow is out of the north and west, a light wind there, not looking for any trouble with that. A few clouds out there now, variably cloudy later on, but we will get a decent amount of sunshine and temperatures will stay above normal. Should be between about 35 and 39 for your highs. Most of you will get into the lower 40s. Talk about where the numbers are going, and we'll talk about that rainmaker and a lot of action out on the West Coast, too. That's all coming up. Let's check the roads right now. Lauren Zenzi with a look at traffic.
Good morning to you, Matt. Good morning, everyone. So far, we just have one incident to report out on the roadways. This is over in the town of Salem. Let's bring it out to the map right now because only the northbound side of Route 82 is closed at this time. This is due to a one-vehicle accident between Harris Road and Route 354, which is Old Colchester Road. So be mindful of this. If you are in this area, we do see a little bit of a backup on 354. Could impact the morning commute, so just be mindful of that if you are in the Salem area. In the Hartford area, we did have a crash over on exit 48, but that has since cleared and traffic is moving freely in all directions in and out of the capital city. As you can see, just some light volume out in the roads, really nothing to complain about as of right now. No construction out there. In Cromwell, things are looking good, and as we move down into Waterbury, New Haven, Fairfield County, things are moving smoothly. We do have a little bit of a backup starting, some moderate to heavier volume over in the Bridgeport area on 95. The Merritt Parkway, though, is looking good. We'll check in again on the roads in the next half hour. Tim and Erica, back over to you.
All right, Lauren, thanks so much.
Well, it is a historic day in Connecticut because in just a couple of hours, a handful of dispensaries will start selling the first legal recreational marijuana in Connecticut history.
The customers are expected to line up. They are going to be part of it. Fox 61's Angelo Bavaro is joining us now in the studio. He's breaking down how this launch is going to work and what you need to know. Angelo, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Sales are set to start at 10 o'clock this morning, and in total, 9 dispensaries were given the green light by the Department of Consumer Protection to start selling today. And this all coming after recreational marijuana was legalized back in the summer of 2021. So now let's talk about those rules and the regulations. You need to be at least 21 years old to buy recreational marijuana, and you must bring in ID to make your purchase. Something else to keep in mind, you cannot buy more than a quarter ounce per transaction. Legally, you're able to store up to 5 ounces in a locked container at home or transport that in a locked glove box or trunk. Now, according to the Connecticut Cannabis Chamber of Commerce, 7 of those 9 approved dispensaries are ready to begin recreational sales today. Many more businesses, though, have been given licenses to sell, but they are still waiting on that official okay from the Department of Consumer Protection. And while those sales get underway, state regulators are planning with safety in mind. The Department of Transportation is reminding people that driving while high is illegal, and that does not change when these sales begin.
We want the public to know that if you get behind the wheel and you're impaired by marijuana, alcohol, or something else, you're going to get a DUI.
And for the most part, all of the same rules that apply to smoking or vaping tobacco, those will also apply to marijuana. That means no smoking in those public buildings, including schools, restaurants, and workplaces. The law that allows recreational marijuana also expanded Connecticut's Clean Indoor Air Act. So now people are not allowed to smoke tobacco or marijuana within 25 feet of any doorway. And some towns and cities, they've also been making their own rules as well, banning smoking in certain areas. Tim and Erica, I will send things back to you.
All right, Angela, thanks so much. And coming up for you in a little bit at 6:30, Fox 61's Brooke Griffin is taking a deeper dive into the financial impact that these sales are going to have on the state. And developing this morning out of Washington, D.C., the Justice Department is reviewing potentially classified documents found in a private office that belonged to President Biden just after he left the vice presidency.
Now, we do not know at this point how many of those documents are actually classified. What we do know is that some of them found were at least marked as being classified. The president's special counsel told the Associated Press those documents were discovered in a locked closet back on November 2nd by the president's personal attorneys. They were cleaning out the offices at the Penn Biden Center in Washington, D.C. That's where Biden had an office again after he left the vice presidency in 2017. But he kept it before he launched his presidential bid in 2019. Special counsel to the president, Richard Sauber, said that's where a, quote, small number of documents with classified markings were found. Again, we don't know the contents of those documents or what the definition of small is with regards to what the special counsel is referring to. But the special counsel did claim that Biden's attorneys immediately told them after finding the documents, and they reported it to the National Archives and Records Administration. And those records were apparently handed over the next day. The White House said it's cooperating with the Department of Justice and the National Archives. They also added the documents were not part of any previous request or inquiry by the archives. Attorney General Merrick Garland, who was appointed by President Biden, is asking Trump-appointed U.S. Attorney John Lausch to look more closely into what happened.
Now, this comes just months after the FBI executed a search warrant for former President Trump's estate in Mar-a-Lago, Florida. Now, you may recall the FBI received hundreds of documents marked as classified there. Now, at that time, President Biden spoke publicly about those findings and was critical after seeing an FBI photo showing some of the materials that were found.
How that could possibly happen, how anyone could be that irresponsible.
Several Republicans are now accusing President Biden of hypocrisy, and they are vowing to scrutinize the findings.
Oh my gosh, I think we need to investigate the Bidens nonstop.
My hope is that my Republican friends don't become so obsessed with getting the White House that they lose focus of the reason why they're here, and that's to serve their constituents.
Well, House Republicans are promising several investigations, including ones into the Justice Department itself. Of course, we're staying on top of this story. We'll bring you the latest on air online at fox61.com and on the Fox 61 News app.
The husband of a missing Massachusetts mother appeared before a judge this week. Ryan Walsh is accused of hindering the police investigation into the disappearance of his wife, Anna Walsh. Now, he pled not guilty to the charge, and he's being held on a $500,000 bond. Prosecutors say that despite being on house arrest for a previous crime, he traveled to Home Depot where he spent $450 on things like mops, tarps, and tape. Anna was last seen by a family member at her home in the morning on January 1st. Her husband initially told investigators that the 39-year-old was supposed to be taking a rideshare to Boston's airport that morning for a flight to Washington, D.C., where she works. However, prosecutors say she had a ticket for a different day. Her employer and her husband reported her missing on January 4th.
Well, today in West Hartford, there's a proposal to reduce deadly traffic incidents that's expected to be brought up at the town council meeting. Mayor Sherry Cantor said that the town is looking to implement a Vision Zero initiative. Now, Vision Zero is a strategy to eliminate all traffic deaths and severe injuries. The task force will be made up of town staff and technical experts. This came after there were several deadly crashes involving vehicles and pedestrians there in town just in the recent weeks.